Well, we got her out on her maiden voyage. Got the heat cycle, all the header wrap. Transmission works perfect. Engine builds boost great. Transbrake works great. I don't know how much boost we've built because I don't have a data logger hooked up yet and I don't have the wideband hooked up yet. But once I get the wideband hooked up, I can record, and I'll be able to record boost too. But she did a real good job. We drove it for a pretty good little ways. We drove it over to my work. Did a couple pulls with it. Front end is way too low. She definitely likes to bottom out. So we're gonna have to raise the front end up probably 2 inches. So I'll get a game planned on that, but did real well. Drove real good. All in all, do a little bit more buttoning up. I still gotta fight this stupid horn button and get all of his dome light and all that stuff working, but got a solid little truck here. She's a ripper. Definitely not one to be slept on. If you sleep on this one, you might get taken because it doesn't look like a fast one from the side with the hood down and stock hood and ugly paint. But she got some power. Hopefully it won't be long and we'll get her out to the racetrack.
Try and hook on the street tires.
We can go out on drag radials first time. We got to try to make the hard tire work just yet.
Heck, we'll just put the drag radials in the trunk and bring a jack and electric impact.
Yeah.
Just big wrench so we can get the lugs off.
Yeah, we got to see what's dragging underneath the front.
The frame. I already looked.
Did you?
Yep.
Is it the notch down of the frame?
Pretty much where we cut out and.
Oh, the center of the frame.
Yeah, it's like that close to the ground.
Yeah, we'll have
you can look under there.
That's close. Okay. We'll have to raise it up. We're going to raise it up before we line it up. I mean, if you guys can see, I don't know if you can tell what that actually is, but that's probably 2.5 inches, maybe. Or his hand width away, maybe 3. And then if you look, I don't know if we can see how low that is. It's on the ground, so it's got to come up. We'll probably raise it up 2 inches because this thing, we want it to be a street truck. We don't want it to be just a race car. We're going to get the other inner fender, and we got a little bit of an issue with the belt. It's walking forward on the pulley I made, and it's pushing it up 1 notch. It ain't coming off, but eventually it's going to hurt the belt, so we're going to re-engineer. Probably end up just putting spacers on that idler or that tensioner pulley and space it out so that it's got enough to make it ride right in the middle, because it's kind of, I don't know if you can see it, but it's riding right on the edge. I think that's what's making it walk forward. But all in all, man, what do you think, bud? Think it's got enough power?
Yeah, almost picked up the front tire on the pole he did.
Yeah, it's got it's pretty impressive for just a stock 5.3 and some boost. I mean, I've seen a lot of these guys going out here and killing these little motors and running in the 7s, and all we really wanted was a stock street blazer that we could cruise and be able to run into the high 9s fairly easy, and I think this is more than capable. So I think we're going to hit all of our goals we established with it, and we'll just keep on cleaning her up. The steering seems to be doing a good job. It's a hard to steer. It's a manual steering setup. And I think this gearbox ratio, it doesn't benefit us. I think if we had the other manual gearbox, it would be a little bit easier to turn like my truck, but it ain't the end of the world. It just makes them muscles grow. But it did good. We're going to finish dipping it. We're going to re-dip the bumper probably. Finish the body work. He wants to leave the front fenders red. I don't know. What do you guys think? Everybody knows this Blazer with red fenders now because everything I videoed with the camera. This thing hasn't had no paint on the front fenders, but a long time ago when we dipped it, it did. So I don't know what we're gonna do.
What will determine it? Now do the front fenders match?
He loves it with that stock hood. I think it's pretty badass with the stock hood too.
Just makes people think it's slow.
Yeah, dude, this thing's quiet. It's so much quieter than my Camaro. Like if you didn't know I was coming up to you, you wouldn't even know I was beside you. It's quiet, but full exhaust, full 3.5 inch. It necks down off the turbo and goes 3.5 inch all the way out the bottom. No muffler, just a nice, smooth 3.5 inch all the way out, and it's not loud. All right, time to put her away. If you guys you want to do us a huge favor, go right there, Crosby Racing Garage on YouTube. Check out all these videos we've been making of him building this thing. We started building this thing when he was 7. And when I say he built it, I mean he actually did work on it. He knows stuff about it. He did the work. He built the engine, torqued the engine, assembled the pistons and rods, and put the... I showed him how to gap rings, and he assembled heads and torqued heads. And he's really put a lot of effort into this thing starting at the age of 7. He did the transmission in it that we just got working right due to that bad filter. And this transbrake works flawless. There's nothing at all wrong with it. For a 14-year-old to do that, I know a lot of grown men my age that won't attempt it. And I'm here to tell you, a 14-year-old kid just did it, and it works perfect. And I'm not a transmission guy. I've literally, that was like my second time ever having my transmission apart myself. So there you go. I mean, can't be afraid to try it. The worst thing that happens is screw it up, take it to somebody, and they'll fix it for you. But at least you tried to learn. Yeah, please give us a subscribe. I'm not worried about my lifetime, but in Garrett's lifetime, it'd be cool if he could chase his dreams even further and pursue racing and building stuff as a passion instead of having to do it for a living and barely making ends meet. I know everyone else has that same dream, but just a quick subscribe and that's one step closer. Ain't that right?